But ultimately, it's really about your niche. And when we say niche, it's understanding exactly who it is your company is primed to serve best. And I think one of the big fears when companies really narrow down who their target market is, when they get really specific, is they're afraid they're going to lose out. And you will. But the truth is, you have to be able to attract the right people and reject the wrong people or the wrong contracts, because otherwise you are just going to increase the amount of competition you have across the board.
Welcome to Beyond Clean with Ace. In the world of commercial cleaning, newcomers and seasoned professionals know we're more than just toilets, windows, and floors. We're just like everyone else with diverse interests in everything. And over the past 7 seasons, tens of thousands have discovered engaging, thoughtful, and truly game-changing knowledge here. Whether you're a facility manager, a frontline staff member, or a building services contractor, we're here to help you grow both personally and professionally. So hit that subscribe button and share with others, because we're all about enhancing lives in healthy, positive, and proactive ways. Now let's join Dave Thompson, Director of the Academy of Cleaning Excellence, your host here at Beyond Clean with Ace.
Hello, everyone. This is Dave Thompson, and yes, I am back again with you. It is the first week of May as I'm recording this today. You are here with us at Beyond Clean with Ace. We talk about anything and everything. Cleaning is the main focus, but every once in a while we talk about something that has nothing to do with cleaning at all, and then we talk about cleaning the whole time. You just never know. So if you've been with us before, you know the way the program goes. You didn't come here to listen to me the whole time, so I'm bringing back to the stage here Mickey Anderson. You've been with us many times, Mickey. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello. Yes, I'm not a rookie.
Not a rookie.
I've been here a few times with you.
Yeah, I did. I never thought of anybody as a rookie, but that's a good one. I'll have to. Yeah, I got somebody coming on this afternoon. I'll have to call them, hey, rookie.
Yeah. Once you've been around a few times, then we can go into a different title. But well, it's a pleasure to be back.
So tell everybody who you are if they haven't been with us and heard you before, Mickey.
Yeah, well, if you haven't heard me before, that means you definitely need to go back and listen to a few more episodes, because I've been here a few times, as I mentioned. You've got some catch up to do. But I'm Mickey Anderson. I run a marketing agency up north in Canada. We work with B2B service providers, just like a lot of cleaning organizations. And I come in to sprinkle some marketing guidance to help you close more deals, get more clients, and keep them longer.
You know, we've had you, as you said, Mickey, you've been on the podcast with us several times, but here recently, we've had you in as a kind of a guest speaker, I will say, in a bidding class, and then it's also most recently our master's class. You know, some of those people had some pretty good questions.
Oh yeah, fabulous questions. And I think today we should hammer through a few of those, because I'm sure they're not the only people with those questions.
Well, if you're an entrepreneur and you're in the cleaning industry, there are some specific questions. And so what we're talking about here, folks, is we have a bidding class, and of course it's for bidding cleaning contracts. And then of course we have the master's class, and we just talked about a whole lot of stuff that week. And Mickey was been joining with us, and she heard right straight from them their issues and concerns. So what was the interesting one that you had? I mean, the one that kind of came top of mind.
Yeah, there's a few, but I think the biggest one was related to competition and trying to bid or win really big contracts when you've got a lot of big competition all kind of aiming for that. And you always know that the companies are looking for really good deals. They don't want to pay above and beyond. They don't want to pay below, because they know that that's not going to get them value. So how do you fit in and stand out when you're kind of in the middle? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a tough question for a lot of people in a lot of industries, not just cleaning. But we had a pretty solid answer. I was glad that you and I were on the same page. We said the same thing, just in different words.
I'm sure that our students were glad that we both talked the same language too, instead of being confrontational. That's always a good thing.
I come in and throw a curveball and change everything. No, we were both on the same page. I use a lot more marketing jargon.
Hey, of course so.
But ultimately, ultimately, it's really about your niche. And when we say niche, it's understanding exactly who it is your company is primed to serve best. And I think one of the big fears when companies really narrow down who their target market is, when they get really specific, is they're afraid they're going to lose out. And you will. But the truth is, you have to be able to attract the right people and reject the wrong people or the wrong contracts, because otherwise you are just going to increase the amount of competition you have across the board. So when I think of niching down, it's less about the customers and it's more about the competition. When you're bidding for a contract and you serve everyone and everything, right? It could be,
Oh gosh,
no
yeah.
matter the type of organization you serve, you'll take whatever job you can and you show up. Comparatively, you have a ton of competition because everyone else can serve the same market as you. So you have, 10,000 different companies all aiming for those same types of clients. But once you narrow down, as much as you might miss out on some of the clients, you're going to have a much better shot with far less competition on getting those individual clients. So say, for example, we had an organization that specialized in schools that needed really high medical quality, medical grade cleaning, that had to, meet very specific standards. And that is absolutely an incredible market to be in. And that's really what you should be promoting and pushing, how different you are because of both the way that you do business, the way that you clean, the standards you uphold, but also the type of clients you do it for. And when you do that, everyone else kind of looks mediocre compared to you, right? It doesn't mean you have to win with the lowest price. It doesn't mean you have to be above and beyond. It just means you speak their language so clearly, you understand their problems so well, and you can anticipate problems before they happen, saving them money, time, energy in the long run. So it makes you a clear winner in so many ways and just reduces the amount of competition you have overall.
Isn't that part of marketing though, Mickey? Whenever you recognize what those clear things are, then you can market just those. I mean, I noticed your website, it now says, accounting firms up there. So that means you're targeting just them.
That's it. We only outbound market. So all of our marketing messages that go out are only for finance accounting. That's it. That's who we are speaking to. But ultimately, I want to say probably 40% of our customers are not in that market. That being said, for us, the rinse and repeat ease of speaking that language, we close accounting clients faster than any other one. We keep them longer than any other one. And ultimately, they're our best market. So we know the more firms we get in that industry, the better. And yes, we'll still take projects here and there in the meantime, but for the most part, we have to work far less to get way more out of our marketing because we're so specific.
Well, I think that's kind of one of the things I woke up to, because in the cleaning industry, we do so much and we take care of the whole building and we take care of everything. And of course, every person on the planet needs a cleaning service. So it's hard for people in this industry to actually focus that. But whenever I started put on their floor care certifications, it started generating more and more and more of those. Yeah, we do all kinds of other certifications too, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of different ways to niche. There's the way you operate your business. So it could be the type of cleaning supplies you use. So say you only use sustainable and environmental cleaning supplies, right? That's your thing. That's your way.
Right.
Then it could be your process. We have a very specific, type of process that we follow. It could be the standards. And then you can go into the industry or the building type or the client type. So there's layers. And you don't have to do them all, although I usually recommend over time you are going to end up moving towards doing them all because it's just so much easier. But you can pick and choose. And so it could be the values that your client has. It could be the type of cleaning supplies they want to see. It could be the impact your company creates. It could be the charitable donations and contributions you make. It could be just the fact that you know this type of building better than anybody else. So it's not going to be cookie cutter for everyone. It can be. I don't recommend it. But you have to think about yourself as a company and as a person, and then your client. And usually there's a Venn diagram of here's what we do really well, what we love, what we master, our specialty, and then here's what matters to the clients. And there's
how do those fit together? Yeah.
And that overlap area is what you market.
So, what was interesting is with the people that you talked about from that class, during the week of the master's class, they finally understood, because it was interesting. Father's retiring, and he's got his two young kids. I say young, they're in their mid-20s. Yeah, that's young to me, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just an old guy.
It's young to me too.
But it was really interesting to see how he talked about the fact that, he did anything and everything to get a job, and he doesn't want them to have to go through that same thing.
Yeah.
And they were hearing your message.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you try to serve everyone, and I've said this to everyone, yeah, it makes your marketing harder, but also you end up mediocre at most things. And you don't build a winning, thriving company being mediocre at most things, right? If we think of the best, the highest standards in the industry, those companies that are just thriving, they're very specific in what they do, who they serve, and how they do it, right? So I think ultimately over time, it's a process. Now, you don't have to dive in and just pick it if you don't know which one's right for you. You don't have to dive in and just pick one right off the bat, right? Mickey said, choose a niche. We got to do this today. No. One of the things I recommend is surveying your clients. So think about that list of all the clients you had and who are your absolute top favorites. Not just because they paid you really, really well, but because they were easy, right? They were great customers who cared. You worked well together. You were able to deliver results. They actually saw the value in what you did. And once you identify who those people are, there's usually a few things that stand out. And time goes by and you'll start to recognize more specifically, if I had 10 of this one type of client and none of the rest, I would be infinitely happier. And that's what it's all about, because you've productized, you've streamlined your services and your business. So it is rinse and repeat. You're not starting from scratch, having to learn how to do a new type of business or building or cleaning service every single time you have a client. It's no longer custom. It's simple. It's packaged. You have a process to follow. You end up generating more profit, saving more in costs, and ultimately your marketing dollar goes infinitely further.
Now, you have a part of your program now is the 90-day campaign. So as folks are listening to this, are you saying every 90 days change that?
So for us, we follow a 90-day process, but we don't change it every 90 days. We start again every 90 days. So our campaigns go through the stages of customer awareness. This is going down the rabbit hole of marketing. But if we think of ideal customers, you've got people who have no idea who you are, that they have a problem. And then you have those raving fans on the other side, right?
Right.
And so our goal is to move people through that journey with our marketing message. And we do that in a very specific way. But what happens after we've gone through that cycle? We start again using the same format every 90 days. And so it gives us an opportunity to see what worked last quarter, to see what didn't work last quarter. How are we tracking against our objectives, right? What goals did we set? Did we meet them? Where did we fail? How can we optimize this time? And then we start again and we just tweak and refine. And the more times we do it, the better we get at it, the more momentum you create, the more customers you keep, and the more customers you generate. So for us, that's our niche service. That's the way that we do business. Now we have specific services under that, right? We do email marketing, we do website content, we do LinkedIn content. We do it in our framework of 90 days, and we work with accounting firms. So we have all three layers of that kind of niching that we talked about.
Okay, so folks, you just outlined your whole marketing program. I guess the podcast is over.
Done. Well, you need to think about, I like to think of it like a funnel almost. So at the bottom of your funnel, you have the people who are ready to buy, who are, the most prepared. They know about your company. They know about your pricing. They know what you do. They just need a reason to buy now. So that's the kind of marketing message we create at the bottom of funnel, which is usually on your website because that's where they're booking or getting the quote. Right? So it could be comparisons, us versus them. It could be all of the details and the FAQs that someone might have about working with you. It could be customer testimonials. It could be discounts, promotions, bonuses, seasonal offers, whatever it is. We want to push that person to buy, show them that now is the best time to buy. And then if we move up the funnel, we've got people in the middle. They still need some education about how you work, why you do what you do, who you do it with. That's the middle of funnel content. And so that can be on your website, but that can also be in your emails and your social media. And then we've got people at the top of the funnel who have no idea who you are, what you do, who you serve. They don't even really know that they need someone who specializes in cleaning or in dealing with whatever multi-facilities management, whatever it is. So that's what we're talking about there. We're capturing their attention, helping them recognize that what they're doing now isn't working, what it's costing them, and then moving them down and getting them curious to investigate further. We want to continue to produce your marketing in each of those three kind of big buckets consistently. Because if you only do one type, if you're only generating people at the top, doing that awareness, right? We just need more awareness. Awareness doesn't sell. So we need to have that consistent content in each one of those three buckets. And every 90 days is a really simple way to check in and be like, okay, what are we missing? Where do we fill in the gaps? How do we move on to the next phase?
Yeah, and folks, this is why we have people here at the Academy like Mickey come in, even though it's in remote, it still gets across the message, folks. This is why we're trying to do this in more and more of our classes, is so that you as the customer in our class can benefit from all of this wealth of information. Even though it's like we say, Mickey, I'm good at certifying people on floor care and all of the things that go with all the different types of floor care. But when it comes to marketing, hey, I'm learning just along with everybody else from you and other folks that I deal with. So that's why we're glad to have Mickey come on and talk to us. Any other thing that you saw during those times other than this niche?
Yeah, I think there's two other key things that I think are important. The first is the best place, if you're struggling to come up with ideas for your marketing, the best place to go is your current customers, right? A 15-minute interview can save you thousands upon thousands of wasted dollars on marketing because you're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth.
Right.
You can ask them, hey, what problem were you struggling with when you started to search for a cleaning company like ours? What made our company stand out compared to the rest? What was the thing that pushed you over the edge to sign for us, right? Now that you're with us, what would you want if you looked back and had to tell yourself something at the beginning, what would that be? And so those 15-minute interviews once or twice a year with each one of your clients can help solve so many marketing challenges because you're going to learn the words, the problems, the solutions that matter most to your customers, and you just say that in your marketing. So that's one. Constantly be asking your clients and leads. If people are coming in for quotes, ask them what they're looking for, document all of it because you can use all of that. So real people are the generators of your marketing materials. The second piece is the proposals. We were in the bidding class chatting about how to structure a great proposal to stand out. And I think all of this comes together in that proposal. You have to be able to show why you're the best possible option compared to all of the others, how you deliver the most value for that specific company, and then showcase what sets you apart. So those comparisons, you don't have to be mean or, go down the rabbit hole to say,
Right.
we're better than XYZ, but you can clearly show most cleaning organizations miss these key things. We do this, and this is how it saves you. This is how it benefits you. And so as you do that, you get more and more clear using what you've learned from your customers and putting that into your proposals. You're going to find they stick better and you're remembered and you're ultimately seen as the best possible choice because of that.
Two things that I add in that bidding class, Mickey, that you've not heard or seen is I'm a big fan of taking pictures whenever we're doing our surveys. And I always tell people, remember this, don't always take pictures of the bad stuff. The client already knows what's bad. They already know that. So don't do a lot of that, but take pictures of the good stuff. Always remember the client wants, most of the time what's happening in their cleaning operation is good. Not everything's bad. So never, ever focus on all the bad. Focus on the good, because that's what they want you to repeat. And there's another one that I always say is find out what they want, not what they need. What they want will pay you more dollars. What they need just gets you the contract.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with both. I think you need to be able to highlight the problem, but you don't have to stay in it forever.
No.
Right? Once you show I get what you're struggling with, then you have to get into that problem solving mode and show them the end result. A lot of us focus too much on the how and not enough on the why.
Absolutely.
Right? Why? So that's a really important part. The other thing you can do to help yourself kind of stay out of the problem focus and show them what they want is understand the key numbers, metrics, measurements of success that they're looking for. So if you got a school and they have staff who are getting sick all the time, if you run like whatever the standard medical cleaning grade is, one of the things that you could track is say at the beginning of our contract, we love to know, how many absences due to illness you had at the school. And then you could see it might not be the numbers you want. You might not be able to make an impact, but you actually might be able to make a significant impact in that. So you want to know how they're measuring success from a numbers, stats, logical standpoint, and then track that so that you can show it. And then the next time you can show it.
You led me right into something, because I've done this on my career, because schools have been something I've really done a lot of work with, educational facilities. And folks, if you're listening to this and you're a cleaning contractor dealing with schools, here's one of the big tricks. Every school gets paid every day. They're funded by students in the seat. And when those students are not in the seat, they don't have funding. So what we did is we worked with several different in-house and cleaning contractors to find out what percentage of that money that they affected. Now, if we help keep kids in class, not sick at home, that revenue goes up, and that's the way that they have the budget. So there's the numbers, there's the metric, and I would tell you, you need to find out what that is and be a part of it.
Totally. I love that. You know what, one of the things that I've heard just in the conversations we've had in these classes is, but a lot of times what they like, that's intangible things, right? Like people being happy coming into the building, like the cleanliness of the wash, like there might not be a tangible thing. That's okay. You can still persuade someone with emotions, but the more logic you can put behind it, then we balance both sides of the brain, because you're going to get people who are highly emotionally driven, but they also have to cross their T's and dot their I's, especially if they have, a bidding process going on. They have to be able to prove it to others logically why you're the best option. So find those measurements, whatever they need. They could be different for everyone, but you need to figure out those measurements for success that matter most to your clients and start tracking those so you can showcase that.
I can guarantee you, if you're at a school, there's more than one school board member there. And when that contract gets approved, you better be able to talk to both sides, and maybe even a couple other sides you hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love working with schools, because here's the other thing, folks, is all those school board members, they also are the business people of the community. And I worked with many, many different schools, and I would suggest too that you become a part of that school board, not as a board member, but you can be a part of it, because if I know those people, I'm at the school board meetings and they know who I am. Before you actually submit a bid, after you submit the bid, the more interaction you have, but it goes back to, I need to know what my niche is. I guess we come back to that, right?
Yeah, it's the foundation. It's really hard to win people over unless you're really clear on who you serve, how you serve them, and the results you get. So the better niche marketing you have, it's all about positioning yourself, right? Like that's what niching is. It's positioning yourself with your ideal clients against your competition. How do I stand out? How do I fit in? How am I the best possible option? So without that, everything else is harder. It just is. It's like, walking through peanut butter. I have a friend who says that. That's what it feels like. Your marketing is just infinitely harder without that niche. So definitely take the time. It's not an easy answer, and it's not something you're going to come up with overnight, although you might. It's worth investing your time and energy into really refining that niche.
So anything else that you thought about with these classes?
I think the last thing that I have, and it's more just a tactical recommendation that I think every cleaning company should have on their website, regardless of who you are and who you serve, is a comparison chart. It's a comparison. It's your company versus the rest. Whoever your big competition is, and you're not going to name names, but you are going to think about the key components of their service and the results they get compared to yours. And some will be the same, but there will be key differences that you can highlight. And that alone can turn the tides in proposals, in signing clients, because they've experienced others likely. And if you can show how you're specifically, very clearly in a logical chart on a website, how you're different and how you're better, you are going to make your sales process infinitely shorter and easier. So every cleaning company should have a comparison chart on their website, them versus us.
Well, folks, I guess I have some work to do because I don't have one of those on my website, and she just told me I need to have one. So, folks, hey, I told you, hey, if you listen to Mickey long enough, you're going to go, gosh, you just gave me more work to do.
Yeah, it's true. And they don't have to be complicated. I mean, something like ChatGPT can whip up a lot of stuff for you. If you have, done your due diligence and your market research, you can pop it in there and it can give you a really simple format. It doesn't have to take you hours. It might take an hour or two max to whip that together and throw it on your site.
Well, folks, I guess you know what's going to come up on my website sometime this week. We're going to get busy.
Just casually giving you homework every time we meet.
I know you do. You just love it. You're just waiting to do that, right?
Oh, it gives me joy. What can I say?
But I think the students also appreciated that because as we finished up the week with this group that you talked about, it was interesting to see Dad sit there and go, "Gosh, I've worked so hard, and now my kids can work smarter." And I just looked at them. I go, "Dad's right again." Yeah, and they looked at me like, "Don't tell me Dad's right again." but that is true. And he learned the lesson like most of us. We've worked so hard, and now it sounds so simple, but it is complex.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think for me, marketing can be a lot of theoretical ideas, but it's hard to go from 0 to 1 and actually take action. So if you do hear me give you homework and tell you need to do something, it's important to actually take action instead of just putting it on the to-do list. We need to dedicate time to our marketing each month, each quarter, or have someone in-house who that's their responsibility. It could be an administrator, it could be somebody, but getting the stuff done that's bottlenecked or not getting done, it needs to get done. So take that action.
Mickey, you're so right. I told them after the 4-day class, I said, now here's the thing. On Monday morning, when you get back, you have to do one thing. You have to start one thing, because if you don't, you'll never do any of it.
Yep.
It'll be a wasted week.
It's true. It's true. And when you've had your company for a while and you've been like a generalist or whatever, it's hard to take the step and get all the things niche down. But my recommendation is to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. You don't have to do it all in a massive overhaul and spend tens of thousands of dollars. You can make some minor tweaks and slowly transition over time. So it doesn't have to be massive. It might feel massive, but it doesn't have to be.
It just means we have to do.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mickey, it's been a joy to have you back on again. If you've been watching the video, you have seen Mickey Anderson's website come up several times. Please go to one of our past podcasts. As Mickey said, come to one of those podcasts. There's like 2 years worth of information out there. I'm sure there's something that you can use.
Probably too much.
I wouldn't say that. There's always going to be something different. So, folks, I'm going to work on that chart. I got some homework to do before I see Mickey next month. It's going to be June. It's going to get hotter.
And leading up to your next masterclass, right?
Yes. Well, we're not in June. We're going to actually do that, I think, the second week of July. So, folks, if you're listening to this and it isn't July, you've got time to sign up.
Yeah, if you want me to answer all of your marketing questions live, that's a great opportunity.
Thanks, Mickey, for being here. Have a good month.
Thanks, you too. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.